just kind of going through things real quick. First thing right here, just talking about what we look for, what we do is we're always going to talk about our run footwork. And so I'm a little bit different when you're talking about tackling. The first thing we're going to do is teach their feet and their footwork, whether it's run or it's pass. I believe before you get to contact, it's really important to train the guys on how to get to contact. So I kind of teach things backwards. I learned this because I was a GA on the offensive side of the ball when I started my career. And one of the coaches I worked for, Pat Perlis, always talked about teaching backwards. So instead of teaching when once, the contact point, which a lot of people do, we're actually going to teach about how to get to the contact point. So again, right now we're talking run footwork. Some of the drills you're going to see in here are shoots and cones, a cloudy clear drill, gap tackle with a sled. Again, just essentially teaching the guys how to correlate with whatever visual they're seeing in the run game. Right. So the start right here, all we have, you can see 43 right here. He's just mimicking a running back. Right, showing a zone footwork. You can see we've got the backers under a shoot. For us in our run fits here, all of their footwork is going to match the path of the back. So when we get like an inside zone path right here, he's going to shuffle at a 45 towards his pillar at the line of scrimmage, doing a great job staying low and then getting low to high with a finish. I'm a big advocate of getting a leg, take a leg. So you'll see a lot in these clips. They'll get a leg and pull. Again, this isn't necessarily about the contact point. Again, teaching backwards, it's about their footwork. Now we're showing these guys an outside zone picture right here. So now you can see the backer crossover. He's using his long arm as a block destruction mechanism. And again, getting to the point of contact. All right. Another look at it right here. Now we got a two-backer set right here. Again, we're just showing them via the cans and via the running back and inside zone concept. They're working their footwork to the contact point, if that makes sense. So again, my whole goal, my big deal is the first thing we need to do is show them how to get to the contact point. In this case, inside zone, we're going to shuffle at a 45 towards our pillars. You can see we're adding little things as far as block destruction, things like that, but a really good look at both guys getting a leg and taking a leg right there. Another look at it right here. Very similar picture right here. There's just some really good pictures of those guys as far as really matching the path of the back with their footwork. I'd say I like the linebackers. You guys look at it on the defensive right a little bit better. Linebacker on the defensive left's kind of crossing over a little bit, but overall, pretty good picture right there. You can see the finish right there, right? And these are all tempos of finishes. You can see we got pads on, so, we're giving each other some love taps there, make sure we collision. Right now, we'll add in pullers right here. So a lot of the same run fits and concepts. Again, we are very big on tracking the back through the leverage of our fits right here. So we're not just going to chase pullers and gaps. So you can see our spill player. Yeah, he's seeing the guard pull, but he's still tracking the back right there. And again, using crossover footwork when we get a puller to get to his fit. Okay, same thing right here. Just different levels things we'll do. We do this a lot during the year, is now showing them a formation with a motion, and again, getting them to feel the motion, to bump to a new alignment, and then be able to continue to get their eyes to the foundation, which we would do some part of the offensive line, and then feel the top of the house, which would be the running back right here. So good look on a jet motion, and then a split zone back, and then again, just his footwork to get to the contact point. You'll notice a lot of these, it's not necessarily about the contact. I really want to train their footwork before they get to contact. All right, another look at it right there. You can see the jet motion. Again, the split zone on the back, and really good job, again, by the track player tracking the dot with his feet right there, being really patient, not just running with a motion, not just falling out with the back. Good look right here. Again, incorporating gap schemes into it. Again, when we get pullers, we want to take at least one step, one crossover. So really good look right there. And again, really good clean footwork. Me right there, you can see I'm starting to show up on the screen. All I'm doing is kind of showing them what that tackle will look like if he's going to climb, if he's going to bump the 3 technique or the nose guard next to him, be able to climb and get to him. But again, just working their crossover footwork till they get to that contact point right there. Okay. Next we have is what we call gap tackle. So gap tackle, again, really just emphasizes matching the path of the back. Now we've taken the offensive line or tight ends out, any pullers out of it. So really just matching the path. This is a little bit more contact oriented compared to the cloudy clear and some of the key drills you saw earlier. So really working on these guys, matching the path. And then a big emphasis is, getting downhill and attacking and making contact at or behind the line of scrimmage. We want to be really aggressive once we feel it get clear. So right here's a good look at a stretch and outside zone. He feels the shoulders turn, right? Really good job with the crossover. And now he's got a better understanding that most likely it's going to be some form of gator roll tackle, something where his head's going to be on the backside, the hip or the thigh board as he squeezes and rolls right there. So it's a decent look at it right there. Similar deal right here. Now you can see the path of the back, but maybe starts mid zone. Sometimes there's pullers right here. So you can see the backer matches path with the footwork, gets his hips and shoulders square. And again, you can see when we do these gap tackle drills, we increase the physicality a little bit more. All right. But again, it's just getting those guys to emphasize that the footwork is going to match and track the back to get them to the contact point. Okay, another look at it right here. Really good look at an inside zone clip right there. And again, really like him on contact. And we'll talk more about contact here in a second, but I really like his footwork, right? Kind of feels him turn, does a good job getting downhill. He's square on contact. He's got leverage. And again, really believe in getting a leg and taking a leg right there as he drives through 5 steps right there. Much better look right there. Really good. Now, all these guys are a little bit different too. Like the kid you're seeing right now, he will shimmy a little bit more into contact because as we talk about contact, we're always going to talk about knees forward and rolling and exploding through your hips right there. Okay, last thing we did, I think we were playing a big iPro team at some point this year. And so we were really emphasizing on inside zone, which you can see with the back shoulders and getting downhill. I want to say the back was a bigger back too. So trying to emphasize that, really those guys loading up and striking. This probably was at a point in the year where maybe I was trying to take the collision off him a little. So that's why we put the sled right there. So you can see he's just working on a power and ISO tackle, something in the hole with condensed space, using that run footwork to get him the line of scrimmage right there. Okay, now here's some clips here just to show. I'm always a big advocate of like showing people like, hey, this just shows up in practice, right? We could all go through our seasons and find stuff and go, hey, this drill worked here. Well, one of the things I always look at when doing individual is what we're working or teaching individual. Is that showing up in practice first and foremost? Because I believe if it doesn't consistently show up in practice, it won't show up in the game. So if you're watching the middle linebacker right here, our track player, he feels a mid to outside zone path from the O-line in the backs. He goes crossover, does a really good job getting his shoulders and hips back to square on contact right here. And we're just in a thud period right here. But again, it's a good look at what I was just emphasizing as far as his footwork matching the path of the back to get him to the contact point right. Another look, I'm going to go to this angle right here. This is my favorite angle in football right away. They get these 3D looks right here. This is awesome for linebackers. So really good. You can see our track linebacker right here can feel the puller. So he goes crossover towards that pillar. You would have saw that in one of those earlier videos. Does a really good job getting over the top. Hips and shoulders are square at the point of contact right there. Like it's a really good look. And again, this all goes back to what we always talk about right away is your footwork. Your footwork is going to get you in position to be a physical and violent tackler. That's a really good look at it right there. Ooh, ball came out too. That's even better. Good punch. Okay, here's some clips from games, right? You're going to watch both 8 and 44 right here. They're feeling a stretch mid-zone. 8 does a very good job right here, just tempoing the back. You know, we're just asking him to track the dot. 44 does a very good job of feeling his pillar, the D tackle get widened, all right, and ultimately making the play right there. But that's just a good example as far as his footwork, 44's footwork, take him to the point of contact right there. And again, we'll talk about how we make contact here in a second. Here's another look right here. And this one right here, we're going to take a look at 22. Our linebacker, probably circle that right there. 22 right here. Again, feels the stretch to mid-zone. And again, you'll see us stack our pillars or a lot, our defensive linemen, because we have an aggressive D-line. So we're going to let those guys puncture things and we'll make them right. He does a really good job of feeling the insert outside. And again, elite footwork to get him to the point of contact right there. It's a really good play. Sorry, I get you guys the tight angles. All right, here's a really good look. If you're looking at 22 right here, really good job. He's going to feel mid-zone right there. I say mid because you can argue that the center and the back are showing outside, but through his visual key right here, you might feel it as inside zone. You can see he gets to crossover footwork and, again, does a really good job of getting his shoulders and hips square on contact. So, again, that's a big point of emphasis you see through those individual drills is let your footwork get you to contact, but we need to be as square with our hips and shoulders as possible once we get to contact. Here's a really good look. Same linebacker here, number 22, our Mike right here. Feels mid-zone. He actually plays this one like stretch. I don't blame him. The path of the back shoulders are turned on the sideline. So you can see our Mike goes crossover footwork towards his pillar. Really good job. Hips and shoulders square. Takes his shot with a nice roll right there. So again, it's all about the footwork right here. That footwork for us is so important. If their feet are right, man, those guys are our guys. At least are going to have an opportunity to make some plays. This is a really good look at a different look. A lot of people call this duo. A lot of people call it crunch, those vertical double teams. So you can see 30's doing a really good job stacking his pillar, being patient because he's feeling vertical, not lateral zone right there. And then again, another good example of tracking the back. But again, this all starts with his footwork. His footwork is telling him to be patient right here because he's getting vertical double teams. That allows him to finish and get to that contact point right there. So again, what I'm showing you is everything we do in the run game, we're training their footwork to get them to the contact point. You can see both backers right here, 8 and 22 are going to feel inside zone right there. They stack their pillars right here. We've got a really vertical disruptive D line right here. So you can see they're eating up double teams and they ultimately step over, they find air and finish. But again, we train our footwork. So however, everybody does things differently. I'm just saying the way we've had success with our guys is over and over and over training their footwork based upon the path of the back and feeling the foundation of the O-line, right? This showed up when we were doing some of those drills as far as incorporating whether it's backs or jet motions. You can see them start to bump on the motion. They feel the back. 22 does a great job feeling it's clear and go shooting his gun. And then you can see our other fitter right here. We're in a 4-backer fit right here. Our other backer running through on the pin the hip right there. So again, really, really good job of these guys as far as using their run footwork.